Okay, so you've done your setup and now it's time to refresh your Bitcoin. So why do you want to refresh your Bitcoin on a regular basis? If you have done your setup on Liana, you will most probably have also additional keys that you have time locked. Why would you want to do that? Because if something happens with your main configuration, main multi-sig, you can still have layers on top of it which are time locked that can come at your rescue, or that can give the possibility to your heir to access your Bitcoin if you no longer can access it yourself, or if you no longer are around. So we call this time locking keys, or additional layers of access to your Bitcoin, and it's on the Bitcoin blockchain and it's completely trustless. So the way to actually make this get activated, or the keys that you have time locked get activated, is by not touching your vault for a certain amount of time. So if you have, for example, a time locked additional key for a year and you do not touch your vault for more than a year, then this additional key becomes unlocked and can access your vault. Now, if you still have access to your vault, and if you are still around and you don't want this time locked key to gain access, then you want to refresh your Bitcoin maybe every 6 months in order to make this time lock to restart for another year. So what we will discuss today is how you can do this Bitcoin refreshing to make sure that this time lock does not get activated and you can restart the clock so that the vault becomes time locked again with additional layers. And I will share my screen as always with you so you can see every single step on the way. I have this test wallet here that I will be using, and I will be using 2 hardware wallets to perform this, and one of them is a Coldcard Q and the other one is a Ledger Nano S Plus. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to turn on your Coldcard, and after you do that, you want to put your prefix and suffix, and I'm going to do that. And after you do that, you will be shown the main screen with the Edge version. And after you do that, you can prepare the transaction on your main screen. And as soon as you've done so, you can then perform the signatures. Let me just move this hardware to the right state so I can actually perform the signatures. Perfect. So the hardware is now ready. I just had to do some things in the settings. It's not relevant to you guys. So you have now this ready to sign on your main screen, and this device is basically ready. So we're gonna do the first signature with this one, and then the second one with the second hardware wallet. Okay, so now when you go to your Liana Smart Vault, you will go to your coins, and you will see, for example, I have 2 UTXOs, but you might have more than 2. And every time you send some Bitcoin to this wallet or to this vault, you will have an additional UTXO. And each UTXO has a different time lock. So if you received this one, for example, a year ago, and it has been 6 months ever since you sent it, and you have a time lock of 1 year, then you will see 6 months here because you sent the Bitcoin to your vault a year ago, and the time lock is 1 year, and it has been 6 months ever since you sent it. That means you still have 6 months left. But you can have a different coin that you sent maybe later, and if you sent it later, it will show you obviously a different time lock. So each UTXO has its own time lock, and you want to obviously have very healthy amounts of UTXOs, not too big, not too small. and you want to refresh them one by one. So I suggest that you do it not together. You can also combine them, but if you do combine them, then you're going to merge them into one single UTXO, and that might hurt your privacy in the future. But that's a different topic. That's a UTXO management topic. So I will now refresh this particular UTXO here by clicking on refresh coin, and it will auto select it here from this list. And now I need to select, as always, the fee rate, and the fee rate I select is going to determine how quickly this is going to get a confirmation. And since this is just a refreshment of your Bitcoin, you're literally just sending the coins within your own wallet. There is, in my opinion, no point to be in a rush. Okay, so I would always pick the lowest priority that you see on the mempool.space website, and that's what I'm going to do. So 1 Satoshi per VByte is more than enough. And let's go next. And now you will see here self-transfer, because you're sending these coins to yourself in order to refresh the Bitcoin. That's why it says self-transfer. Okay. After you do that, you will click on sign, and it will show your Coldcard in this list. And after you do that, you will see the transaction on your Coldcard, and it says okay to send, consolidating this amount within wallet. That's exactly what you want to see, right? If it doesn't say consolidating, that means you're sending the Bitcoin out of your vault. Be careful, okay? If it doesn't say consolidating, that means you did something wrong. It must say consolidating within wallet. That's what you want to see here, okay? After you do that, you can also check the address, but you don't need to, because you already have confirmed that this is a consolidation transaction only. Enter, and that's it. So first signature is done. Now let's do the second signature. Unplug from the first device and plug in the second device. And on the ledger, you put your PIN. So you just go left and right until you can select the right PIN number, and then you confirm each number with both buttons. I'm going to do that right off the camera. Okay. So now that I put the PIN, I go to confirm here, and I put both buttons to confirm the PIN that I just put. There we go. After you do that, you're not done with the device yet. You need to open the right application. So you want to open the Bitcoin app. Okay, that's the one you want to open, and you have to click both buttons to open it. I'm going to open Bitcoin Test because this is a test transaction. It's a different app, but you want to open Bitcoin. Okay, and you click both, and it's going to open it. And after you open it, you go on your Liana and you click on sign. And now it's going to show you your ledger. You click on your ledger, and it's going to show the transaction now here. It's going to say review transaction to send Bitcoin, and it's going to say from which vault. It's a Liana vault, correct? Then it's going to say self-transfer with the amount, fees. You have to click right in order to go to the next. So it's going to say first the amount, and it's going to say self-transfer right afterwards. Okay, you're going to see the fees, and then it says sign transaction, and if you want to sign it, you click both buttons here to sign. And that's it. After you do that, your transaction is ready, and you click on broadcast, and after you click on broadcast, you click again on broadcast, and then it's going to say transaction is broadcast, and you're done. So now if you go to your coins, you will see that one of your UTXOs now shows unconfirmed, but as soon as it gets confirmed, it's going to restart this clock. So if it said 1 month left, it's going to go back to its original time lock. So if it was 1 year, at the beginning when you set up your wallet, it's going to go back to 1 year. And that's how you refresh your Bitcoin on Liana Smart Vault. See you in the next video.